I started going by my middle name at university, and my mom had a complete meltdown. I've hated my first name my entire life. The long version makes me sound like some preppy cheerleader from a teen movie, and the short version literally sounds like my dog throwing up. No joke, when people call me by the short version, my dog actually looks around confused. I've asked my parents a million times growing up if I could go by something else, but my mom always got super defensive about it. She picked my name before I was even born, and acted like me not loving it was some personal attack against her, so I just dealt with it for 18 years. But then I started applying to universities last month and saw this option on the application that said preferred name. My heart literally started racing when I saw it. This was my chance to finally be called what I wanted without having to convince everyone I already knew to change. I put down my middle name, Naomi. I've always loved that name. It sounds elegant and mature, not like someone who peaked in high school or a dog making pre-vomit sounds. When I submitted the application, I felt this huge weight lift off my shoulders. I didn't tell my mom right away because I knew she'd freak out, but last week she was helping me organize some paperwork and found my acceptance letter. The university had addressed it to Naomi with my last name. She just stared at it for like 30 seconds, not saying anything. Then she asked me why they got my name wrong. I explained that I'd put Naomi as my preferred name, so that's what I'd go by at school. Her face went completely red, and she started yelling about how I was throwing away my identity. I tried to stay calm and told her it was just for university. I wasn't asking her or my family or my friends from home to call me anything different. This was just for new people I was meeting, people who didn't know me as my first name anyway. But she wasn't listening. She kept saying this was her final straw and that I was being disrespectful. I honestly had no idea what other straws she was talking about because this was the first time I'd done anything like this. She started crying and said I was rejecting her and everything she'd given me. That's when I brought up my dad. My dad has gone by his middle name since university. That's literally how my mom met him. She's never known him by his first name. Nobody calls him by his first name except maybe his parents sometimes. When I pointed this out, she got even more angry. She said that was completely different and I wouldn't understand, but she couldn't explain how it was different. She just kept repeating that it was different and that I was changing who I was. The next few days were awful. She wouldn't talk to me except to make passive-aggressive comments about how I was abandoning my family. She told my aunt that I was going through some identity crisis and needed intervention. My dad finally pulled me aside and asked what was going on. When I explained everything, he actually started laughing. He told me about how his mom had the exact same reaction when he started using his middle name at university. She got over it eventually. He went and talked to my mom that night. I could hear them arguing in their bedroom. He kept saying things like, "You literally do this to me," and "How is this any different?" My mom was crying and saying I was her baby, and this felt like losing me. The next morning, my mom came into my room looking exhausted. She sat on my bed and said she understood why I wanted to do this, but it hurt her feelings that I didn't like the name she chose. I told her it wasn't about her. The name just didn't fit me, and I needed to feel comfortable in my own skin. She was quiet for a minute and then asked me if I'd still respond if she called me by my first name. I said of course that wasn't changing. She nodded and said okay, she'd try to accept it. It's been 2 weeks now and she's still not totally over it. She introduces me to new people using my first name and then corrects herself like, oh sorry, she goes by Naomi now, but at least she's trying.